Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be talking about my weekly loves and letdowns. It's been a couple months since I've done one of these videos and I like doing them for you guys because I use so many different things throughout the week that I like to share, like products that I'm actually really liking. Don't mind if you can hear my husband talking downstairs. He's on the phone and he talked very loud. So if you can hear him, I apologize in advance. And also don't mind do you see all this redness going on right here? I think it's from using this brush to apply my bronzer, which I've used before. I don't know what the deal is. My skin, maybe it's just uber sensitive today because I have really sensitive skin, but maybe from touching my neck with this brush because I was kind of putting bronzer on my neck there. And this brush is extremely soft. I've used it many times and it's actually a favorite that I'm going to mention in this video. So I don't know what the deal is with my neck, but it's very itchy and red, so let's just ignore that. So the first product I want to talk about is the Alamar Cosmetics eyeshadow palette. This is the eyeshadow palette volume 1. So this is inspired by Cuba. I've heard Kathleen Lights talk about this and I was very excited to get it in my June BoxyCharm box. So this is the inside of the palette right here. And the color scheme is really pretty. You get some neutrals, you get some colorful shades, you get some metallics and some mattes. So the bottom 4 shades are matte shades and then the top 4 are shimmery metallic shades. And the shimmers on these are amazing. Like you don't even need to use them foiled or wet. They're just very intense on their own. I've used this palette several times this week, probably like 4 or 5 times already, and I just absolutely love it. The quality is very nice. So I actually have the neutral shades on my eyes today. So I'm wearing this one, and this one. This one in the crease, then these kind of mixed together in the crease as well as my lower lash line. And then I have a shadow I'm going to talk about that's on my lid right now, but very nice quality palette. I was really happy to receive this. So the metallic shades are so intense and they apply intensely with the brush. Like I don't even have to apply these with my finger or wet. This color right here is the most intense. It's this beautiful kind of like I would say a gold, almost with like an olivey undertone. It's so beautiful. And then you get this blue, this green, and then this like pinky champagne color. Really love these shimmers. And then the mattes are nice as well. They're more warm toned. I would say this one looks more neutral when it goes on the eye, but as far as these 3 mattes right here, they're pretty warm. This reddish shade right here does have a more grittier texture when you swatch it with your finger, but I feel like that's very typical of those type of shades. It applies to the eye just fine. So I'm really loving this palette. I think the quality of it's very, very nice and cute little packaging, nice little travel palette. So yeah, that's what I'm wearing on my eyes today, really pretty. The eyeshadow that I have on my lids right now, the very sparkly glittery one, is the Pixi Liquid Fairy Lights eyeshadow. It's a glimmery shadow and this one is called Passion Light. And I actually got this in a PR package and it is so pretty. Do you see this? Like I'm living for these like chocolatey warm browns. So this is the packaging right here that they come in. So I got all of the shades. This is the first one that I've used. And it has like a flat doe foot applicator. It's a little bit curved backwards, but it's flat on both sides. You could go straight in with this applicator, but what I like to do is take a flat shader brush, just take some of the pigment or shadow off of the applicator and dab it onto my eyelid. So that's how I applied mine. Let me give you a swatch. It has this very warm coppery base color, and then it has silver and gold glitter in it, I believe. So this reminds me of the Stila shadows. If you have those and like those, you may like these. And these are more affordable. I think these might be around $19. It could be less. I'm not 100% sure on the pricing of these, but I have seen them at Target, but you could also purchase them from Pixi, the Pixi website. So these are just really pretty. I mean, look at that sparkle on the eye. So it's kind of typical of a glittery shade like this to have some fallout. I had like a couple pieces fall out. Like I do see a piece of glitter on my nose right here. But other than that, I really didn't get a lot of fallout with it. So I took a brush that's really small like this and I actually deepened the outer corner and I didn't get any fallout from that, like typically glitter shadows like this, if you start blending too much, they will fall out on your face. I tried to do minimal blending, but I took the smallest brush possible to blend the outer corner and a little through the crease. You don't want to go over the glitter too much because I feel like it's very typical of these types of shadows to have some fallout. But I really didn't have very much of this one, only 2 little specks, and I was good. But I just think it's so beautiful, it's staying in place. It's just sparkly and I love it. So for blush, I've been pretty much consistently using this one. I keep going back to it. I got it in a BoxyCharm box several months ago. So this is by Pretty Vulgar, and it's the Make Them Blush in number 18 Hush Blush. So packaging's super cute. And this color, I just think it's very flattering on my skin tone. It is pink, but it's not too pink. It's like a very wearable, everyday shade. Let me give you a swatch on my hand here. So this is the blush that I have on today. And it is a matte finish blush. But ever since I got this blush, I pretty much have it in my everyday makeup drawer, and I just go back to it all the time. I don't know, I just feel like it goes with a lot of looks, and it's just a great everyday shade. So I've been enjoying this one. I really like it. I think it's pretty. And for a blush brush, I've been using the Wet n Wild P70 brush. It's the newer ones with the pink chrome handles on them. So this is like very rounded. It's very, very, very soft, and I just like the shape of it because you can kind of go in a circular motion to apply your blush, and it really diffuses it nicely onto the cheeks. Now, when you look at this, you would think it's way too dense, but honestly, it's like the perfect density. It's like still has enough movement where it buffs the blush into your cheeks, and it's not too dense where it just packs on way too much. I mean, you can pack on a lot of blush with this brush, so I would just recommend barely dipping in your blush. I don't know why that's so difficult. Saying blush and brush and going back and forth between the words is driving me crazy. So I would just recommend barely dabbing into your blush and tapping off the excess, and then just going very light-handed in with this. But I just like how I can go in a circular motion and buff it into my cheeks. I don't know, I've been loving that blush, yes, okay. So speaking of brushes, this one has been one of my newest favorites. Is the Zoeva Luxe Grand Powder Brush. It's number 90. So this is what it looks like right here. It's a little bit pinched, and it is extremely soft. A lot of the Zoeva brushes are a mixture of synthetic and natural hair. So if you go on their website, it will tell you which each brush is. So this one is probably a mixture as well, but I really like it. It's extremely soft. This one is just so good for bronzing the skin. I mean, it's so soft, has a great amount of flexibility to it, and it really just buffs the bronzer into my skin so nicely. The Zoeva brushes are some of my ultimate favorites. I've had like a set of them for a really, really long time, and those are my go-to brushes, especially the eye brushes. I love the eye brushes from Zoeva. I feel like they have some brushes that other brands lack as far as like crease brushes go, and I've been wanting to like talk about them in the past, and I forget. But I recently did make a purchase through them, so this is one of the newer items I got, and I love this brush so much. It's a must-have for bronzer, I feel. And they are located in Europe, but they do ship worldwide, which is nice. So let's talk about highlighter. So I recently purchased this one. It's the Inglot Soft Sparkler Face, Eyes, Body Highlighter. They have several different types of these highlighters. In this particular one that's called Soft Highlighter, they only have 2 shades. I have the one in number 51, which is the lighter one. So that is what it looks like. It's probably very hard to tell with all this lighting. But I really like this color for my complexion. If you have like a fair to light complexion, I think this would be a good one for you. This is more of a baked highlighter, and some people may not like it. Like when you swatch it, it's not, I wouldn't say it's the softest highlighter I've ever felt, but it's kind of typical of a baked one. I feel like you do have to really buff this one into the skin. It kind of reminds me of the Gothographic highlighter from Wet n Wild that came out with that collection. That one's a loose one, but I feel like the color is very, very similar, and the texture, like going onto the skin, it's very, very similar. So because of the texture of this highlighter, I feel like you have to use it with a denser type highlighter brush, and I've been really enjoying it. I just really like the color, it just suits me well. So I'm just gonna put a little bit more on. I feel like if you use a brush that's not dense enough, then you're just gonna, it's gonna be very sparse. Like it's not gonna be a nice even sheen. But if you use a dense brush, then you'll get a nice, very nice sheen from this product. So you just really have to buff it into the skin, and it's best buffed into the skin with a more dense brush, but I just really love this very light champagne color. Light champagne highlighters are some of my favorites. I just feel like they just suit my skin tone so well. So yeah, that's kind of a lot. Let me buff that in a little more. Definitely don't think this is a highlighter for everybody. I feel like some people might say it's glittery, which I've heard people say that about the Gothographic loose highlighter from Wet n Wild. I personally didn't feel like it was glittery. I just feel like it's kind of the same thing with that one. Like, you kind of really have to buff it into the skin. It's just a different type of texture, but I wouldn't say it's glittery. So if you have the right brush and you buff it in, it looks beautiful on the cheeks, and I'm loving this one. This is the outside packaging right here, in case you're curious. Can you see the way it looks on my finger? You can tell it's a little drier feeling. I guess that's why you have to buff it into the skin, because it has a little bit of a drier texture because it is a baked product. But see, once you buff it into the skin, it looks so pretty. The last thing I want to talk about in this video are these sponges right here. These are by Sonia Kashuk, and I've been really enjoying these sponges. As you can see, mine are very, very dirty, but these come in sets, and I know that this one comes in a set, this set right here, and then this one may have came in a set too. I can't remember, but you know, Sonia Kashuk revamped her line. She no longer sells cosmetics, but she does sell like beauty tools, brushes, sponges, other types of beauty tools like brush cleaners, holders, cosmetic bags. So anyway, I picked up these when they first came out, and I've been loving them. I cannot put these two down right here. Like, these are my favorites. I just really like to blend my concealer out with this sponge. They're very, very squishy, especially when you wet them. And I mean, they're not the pointiest, but I can pinch it a little to get in the very inner corner. I just like the size of it for blending out my concealer, and I like the texture of it as well. Plus, it's marbleized. It's very, very cute. So those have been a favorite. I also really like this one. I can't remember what this one came with. Probably a set as well, but this one has more of a point, so this one's perfect for pinning it in the inner corner, and it's nice and squishy, and it just blends out concealer really nice as well. And then this one is probably my least favorite of the set, but it's still very good because you can get very close in the inner corner there as well to blend out concealer. And then it has like a flat edge on this side, so you can kind of blend your foundation. It's smaller, so I don't prefer it for foundation, but I can blend out my concealer with this side. I mostly prefer to use the pointed edge to blend out concealer. So this one feels a little bit more firm, but once you wet it, it does get softer. So those are really nice from Sonia Kashuk. My one fail is the CoverGirl lipstick that I mentioned in my first impressions video on the new CoverGirl makeup. So I have been using the eyeshadows and the foundation, and I think I will give you an update in a different video, but in this video I did want to just mention this because this was a fail. So this is the CoverGirl lipstick. It's the Demi matte finish, and the number is 435 Streaker. And they actually put the label like right over where it says CoverGirl. So I like this color. I just didn't like the way it looked on my lips. So I feel like you could see my natural lip color peeking through parts of the lipstick, and I just felt like, I guess I could say it was kind of patchy. In the video I was trying to describe it, I was like, it just sits on my lips really weird. I can't describe it. Is it patchy? Is it not patchy? But I guess you could just describe it as a patchy formula. It looks fine like on my hand, and it's a really pretty color. It's like a light rosy pink. Really, really nice, but something about this formula, it just didn't sit on my lips very well. This has like a sweeter smell to it, and when I let this sit on my lips for several hours, it started to look dry and cracky, although when you first put it on, it's very, very creamy and comfortable. So I just didn't like the way it sat on my lips. And then throughout the day, as it was sitting there, my lips looked dry and cracked. Like, it just didn't look cute at all. So maybe I'm gonna put a little bit over this. I wonder how it would do like over another lipstick. Right now I'm wearing the OFRA Verona liquid lipstick. This is a new shade, came in my BoxyCharm box. So I like the way those pair together, but maybe I'll see how that pairs over this one for the rest of the day. But yeah, that one just didn't work out for me. I didn't like the formula at all on that particular color. The last thing I want to mention is I'm going to start doing this with my empties. I'm actually just going to mention them in like weekly videos or monthly favorite videos, just because I don't want to accumulate all these empty products. It drives me crazy. I just want to get rid of them. So I always end up with a ton of products. The video is super, super long. Like, I have one that I still need to post, but this one will probably go up first. And so I think I just want to incorporate my empties in these favorite type videos. That way I'm only mentioning like 1 or 2 products in the video and it's not as long. So these 2 products I used up. First is the NEUTROGENA Hydro Boost Hydrating Lip Shine. These have hyaluronic acid in them. And this is a go-to lip product. I have this in my purse and I use it all the time. I really like the formula and the way it feels on the lips. This one was in the number 20 Berry Brown, although it was more pinky toned. The applicator is very nice and soft. It is kind of hard to pull out of here, but I got used to that right away. And I just really love the way these feel on the lips. Like, they're not sticky, they feel hydrating, and they have a nice glossy finish, but not overly glossy. Like, it's just a nice gloss to put on your lips and it feels hydrated. So I love these. I actually repurchased this one and several others. And then I finished up my Urban Decay Naked Skin Weightless Complete Coverage Concealer in the shade Light Warm. I tried to take the stopper out of this so that I could get every little drop out, and I did not have success getting the dropper out of this thing, but trust me when I say it is pretty much gone. Like, I've scraped the sides as much as I can and it's just hardly any product comes out onto my face. So yeah, those were my current favorites. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I love you guys. Have a great day. Bye.